If I was going to raise goats for the first time, I've never milked before, what are the steps that I would need to do to raise a goat and milk?
Well, I think the first thing you need is a milking goat.
There's actually a couple ways, I suppose, that you could get a milking goat. You could raise one, get a female goat, but then she has to get pregnant later. Or you can buy a goat from a local farmer that's already had a baby.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
That's what we did on our first run. We went to a farmer and we purchased a goat, and she was fabulous. She was very patient with us. An awesome first goat for us. We really appreciated that.
And someone had already trained her to milk, so that made it easy for us the first time around.
Made it so easy. Yeah, the goat was like, I know you're first learning. It's fine, you know? Recently learned how to wash my hands. Who knew?
So what bucket do we use here, Bree?
I have various sizes for various times of the year, but the one that I'm having to use right now is the Bertha pail.
Once you get it down, Bree is super fast at it. You get the pattern down and
you get quick.
Yeah.
Goats, unlike cows, if you've worked with cows at all, will let you milk forever and ever, amen. Goats are a little different. You've got to get in there and get out quick. That is one of the deals with them. Their patience level might be different depending on the goat. And I find, especially with the ones that we have right now, I really have to get in and get out quickly because they are not patient. They will not wait for you.
Yeah, and you can even see that with the babies. When they're with the baby's got to drink quick and out of there.
I mean, I've milked both, and cows are much more relaxed about the whole process. And goats are like, you're in, you're out, you're done. The milk sack usually automatically fills with milk. So what we do is we pinch it at the top, and then we roll our fingers to coax the milk out, right? So pinch, and keep it pinched all the way down the line. And sometimes I have to go just do a little bit of a bump like this, up in, just to get the milk to rock and roll with us. All right, and then it comes to a close. There's nothing more to pull out. So we got a chunk there. All right, first goat down, time to do the second. We like to feed the goat while the goat is milking, and we like to do something that's different food than they're used to eating every day so that it's a special treat for them. We do sweet feed and corn mix usually for when they're up on the stanchion. Trees, our mesquite trees produce mesquite beans, and the goats adore those beans. So if we have a chunk of those, we'll do those instead. Just something fun and a treat for the goat as well. This is our new goat. So she takes a little bit of patience. Also, equal amounts of keeping the bucket from getting, probably would need to know how to milk sanitarily. So what we use is wipes, like what you'd use for a kid, those wet wipes, just to clean the sack and make sure there's nothing gonna be falling into the milk as you're going. Quick tip, most buckets, they have a handle. Keep the handle towards you and not towards the feet, because usually the goat is self-aware of where the pail is at, but she won't know that there's a handle. So sometimes that'll get caught up in their feet and you'll lose your bucket. It'll be slow and it's just sad. Over time, that first goat that we milked, more than likely her sack will continue to develop to be as big and beautiful as that. Easier to milk. But for the first couple of years, we find that the teats are usually pretty small, so they take a little coaxing. When you're training a new goat to milk, a lot of times a goat is not going to be very comfortable with you in there and milking it. Sometimes it takes the younger goats a little bit to get used to that concept. So what we found when we're milking, that we never take our hand away from the sack when she's stomping. That way she never associates stomping with being done with milking.
The best way to do it too is to not ever get angry at the goat, because a goat does not respond well to anger. Anger just makes them want to fight.
Yeah.
So it's always best to just remain calm, keep doing what you're doing, and just be very determined. Get your milk out. You have the last word.
It's not easy, believe me. I think learning not to get angry is a skill on its own. But we've decided she's kicked a little bit too much for our liking. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take a bucket that we don't care about and we're gonna milk out the rest of the chickens just in case she tips it.
If she was to ever step into our milk bucket, we would not use that milk.
No way. You'll learn to anticipate too almost when they start kicking, because their weight will shift and you'll be like, oh, she's gonna kick. She's almost there, so we'll just continue to go. All done. Just work with her. She'll figure it out. She's bright.
Once they get it, they don't ever forget it.
They don't ever forget it. And they expect you to do it the same way every time.
Yay! You did good.
Good girl. All right. Out you go.
So look at, she's looking back like.
She doesn't know what she wants. A little bit of goat's milk for us and a little bit of goat's milk for the chickens now. Everybody benefits. All right, chickens, y'all ready to drink some milk? Over here. Come on.
You have to stay back because they flick. They're milk flickers.
They are flickers. It's amazing. Milk, it's just so good for you. You almost want to sneak them a little bit just to keep their health up, you know? Goaties.
We want the baby to get nice and strong, and after about a month, then we start pulling them away at night. And that way it allows us to milk in the morning, and then the goats go back on their mamas, and then they get plenty of milk that way. And then that keeps us from having to milk a second time. You know, we like to keep it, manageable and as easy as it can for us.
What happens when you milk is a bunch of the froth comes up, and that has a hard time making it through the strainer. Now there's probably a lot of really great health benefits to the froth, but the patience that I have, I just kind of go through, get that frothy stuff out of there. Does my psyche a little better. Got my mason jar out.
You can buy these, a pack of 6 at Walmart, and they're wonderful to have. And you can buy these plastic lids to go on the top of them, and we really like that for storing our milk. Bree came up with a brand new method for filtering the milk this year.
I did. We've gone through several different methods of how do I do this the easiest way, you know, to get it through the strainer. I found that if I take the filter and I wrap it up in like a little funnel and then put it inside of a funnel, we take our milk and funnel it. That works the best. So we really like the new funnel method.
And then those filters are specifically made for filtering goat milk.
Making sure not to come over the lip.
There's a lot of controversy around raw milk. There's pluses and minuses involved with our goats, so we know the health of them at all times. But if you do decide to pasteurize milk, you'll lose your enzymes, and once that milk heats up, all the B vitamins go away. And then also the vitamin C won't be there as well. You have to kind of balance what you want and what you think is the most safe for your family.
Either way, whether you pasteurize it or not, definitely, I think for us, just making sure the whole process is as sanitary as possible. Really making sure the food is good and those goats are healthy. That's a big deal. Gotta figure out what's best for you. We know that bacteria can build up in milk really quickly if it's left to sit out. So we always make sure we wash our pail and everything as soon as we get these in the freezer. Let's pop these in the freezer real quick. We aren't a huge fan of that gamey taste that can come with, I think, pretty much all milk, but especially goat's milk.
We call it goaty.
We call it goaty. Right after straining it, we chuck it right into the freezer, and we'll let it rest there for maybe an hour or so. We try not to forget them in there because it will bust our things. We lose a bunch of milk, and we lose a mason jar, which is just 2 bummers. So we do try to remember to bring it out. Mom magically takes it out of the freezer every day. She's amazing. And we find that that makes the milk really, really good. No gamey taste. Just tastes like milk that you might get at the store. When all is said and done, it comes out like this. We give it a good shake. Oh, it's leaking so good.
Or did you want some of that?
Oh, yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. Oh, yeah. Oh, she's going for
Milk is so good for you, especially when it comes from the farm. We love our goat's milk, especially this time of the year. It's abundant because spring is where they're producing the most milk. Dun, dun, dun. They zoom in for the shot. Can she drink it? We really love the milk. We use it in cereal. We make ice cream out of it. We make yogurt out of it. It can be made into butter, but goat milk, it's naturally homogenized, meaning that milk fat is spread out through all of it. It'll rise a little bit to the top.
You'd probably want something specific to do that for you.
Yeah, they have cream separators.
We even got the stash. Yeah, you gotta have a milk stash.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Milk stashio. So that's how we milk our goats, our process. From the goat to the jar, I guess.
From the goat to the cup.
From the goat to the cup.
If you want to streamline the process, you can just...
I've heard of kids doing that. Respect.
So are you admitting that you did this as a kid?
All of us did this as a kid.
Bree?
My joke was streamline.
Oh, stream.
Yeah, if you want to streamline the process.
I love it.
I'm glad you got it.
I did. Took me a little bit.
If you are in need of a goat stanchion and you have access to free pallets, Garen did a video a long time ago when he was a little guy. He made a stanchion for a neighbor, and that's out there too. We'll leave a link to that on how to throw together a free stanchion.
A free stanchion out of free pallets. You gotta love it.